Hold on to your maneuvering gear, folks, because we're about to embark on a rollercoaster ride through the colossal world of Attack on Titan. Brace yourselves for a tale that's not just a show, but a symphony of storytelling orchestrated by the genius himself, Hajime Isayama. Now, I'm not just sipping the fandom tea, I'm diving headfirst into an epic journey. Join me in this thrilling series where we dissect, discuss, and devour each and every arc of Attack on Titan. We're going deep, unraveling the mysteries and peeling back the layers of this anime gem.
We going in deep, y'all!
But wait, spoiler alert. This isn't a leisurely stroll through the scenic landscapes of Paradis Island. We're diving into the abyss of plot twists and jaw-dropping revelations. If you haven't witnessed the glory of Attack on Titan yet, I envy you. Quickly hit the play button, binge watch it all, and then rush back here to revel in the profound and captivating tale that is Hajime Isayama's Attack on Titan. Fall of Shinganshina is the start of this epic journey, and it certainly lives up to it. You know how sometimes in anime you hear the classic "it gets better after a few episodes" spiel? Well, not in this neck of the woods. Attack on Titan kicks off with a bang. No need for a disclaimer like, oh, just wait until episode X and it'll hook you. Nope, Isayama throws us into the deep end right away, and he does it masterfully. The opening scene hits you with a flash forward that's like a freight train of suspense. The colossal titan has appeared and you're left gaping at your screen, wondering if you accidentally time traveled into the climax of the series. Now, a quick shout out to Isayama for avoiding the flash forward flop that most anime stumble over. Looking at you, Boruto.
You cheap shot at me.
What's most impressive is that Isayama isn't just dangling a flashy teaser in front of us. He's wielding the flash forward like a narrative sledgehammer. It's not a gimmick, it's a promise. A declaration that the stakes are sky high right from the get-go. And let me tell you, it's a refreshing take on an often misused storytelling tool.
Just knock it off, it's not even funny anymore.
Isayama isn't done here though. We are instantly thrown into a scene where scouts are charging at a titan outside the walls. Here we get our first display of that sweet and sexy ODM gear in action as the scouts spin and flip through the air. The scene isn't only eye candy though. In only the second scene of the show, we are witness to Isayama's genius world building. In this scene, we see not one, not two, but three characters that will play a huge role in the future of the series. Keith, Hanji, and Erwin. Isayama still isn't done, however. These characters also change and grow off-screen between now and when we meet them, turning the world of Attack on Titan into a living, breathing organism. This pays off again and again throughout the series, but the first time is in just a few episodes, as Keith, the current commander of the Scouts, becomes Eren's instructor when he joins the Cadet Corps later in the series. Following the first of many epic Attack on Titan OPs, we are welcomed with an intense 10-second dream that foreshadows both the events of this first episode, and also events all the way into Season 4. This dream foreshadows the importance of Eren's dream throughout the rest of the story, and the power of the Attack Titan which causes them. Something that Isayama leverages to link the entire series together masterfully. Shortly after this bombshell, we are introduced to everybody's second favourite drunk, Hannes. His introduction is crucial, as it not only highlights how ill-prepared humanity is for the attack of the Colossal Titan, as their military protectors are drinking and slacking off, but also the contrast between Eren's mentality and that of the average person living within the walls.
You see him groping around out there, mindless, dead-eyed.
Wait a minute. Sounds to me like you don't even think that they're all that dangerous.
Hannes himself doesn't see the Titans as much of a threat, and is more than happy with his life within the walls. He has zero interest in leaving what he sees as God-given safety and protection. Eren, however, as we see early into the show, instead sees the walls as a cage he's trapped within, and instead has dreams of freedom. This is crucial, as Eren's drive is what sets him apart from other characters in this show. This is something anime does frequently, but typically it goes for something a bit flashier, like Goku being an alien or Itadori being able to control mystical powers. But for Eren, it is his drive for freedom and revenge that we see time and time again throughout the series of Attack on Titan. Speaking of Eren's unique perspective, we are soon brought to a scene where we see the Scout Regiment returning from the mission we saw previously. The crowd as a whole has a generally negative view of the Scouts and their missions, viewing them as a waste of time and money. Eren, however, sees the Scouts as heroes fighting for the revenge he dreams of. His admiration for the Scouts not only blatantly foreshadows his future in becoming a soldier and joining the Scouts himself, but also emphasizes how his views are so unique compared to everyone else within the walls. Isayama also uses the Scouts' return to paint a picture of the grim reality humanity faces, as even the soldiers that Eren sees as heroes are getting slaughtered, made ever more apparent by the commander's grim speech.
And there's nothing to show for it! All of it amounts to nothing!
This speech not only emphasizes this grim reality, but it is also a well-placed, world-building stroke that sets the stage for Keith's later resignation from the position of Scout Commander, something that has a long-term impact on the entire series. Fast forward to Eren's return home and Isayama is pulling off narrative gymnastics. In the midst of what seems like a mundane scene, he sneakily plants a long-term hook, the basement key. It's like a narrative magician making you look left while the real action happens right. The key being introduced in this way is perfect, and it won't be the first time that it's pushed into the back of a scene, cloaking its significance.
You sneaky little bastard.
This is important as the key is a major plot point later in the series, and Isayama balances dangling it in front of viewers and keeping the focus elsewhere masterfully. Thanks to this balance, when the key is finally acknowledged within the series, it doesn't feel unnatural to the viewer, as if it would if it just popped up from nowhere. Instead, it has a huge payoff. This is one of Isayama's most impressive story writing feats. And then, the crescendo. The Colossal Titan's appearance, the chaos, and the heart-wrenching moment of Carla's death. The payoff with this scene is colossal. Throughout the last 20 minutes of world and character building, the viewer is almost lulled into a false sense of security, and when the Colossal Titan appears, the viewer is slung straight back into the despair that Isayama has envisioned for the rest of the series. Isayama doesn't just give us action, however, he also throws in a sneaky wide shot from behind the Colossal Titan, which discreetly shows that he must have appeared from nowhere. It shows that there aren't any footprints leading to the wall, foreshadowing the Colossal Titan's identity as a Titan shifter that can appear from thin air. Speaking of sneaky shots, is that bully from earlier in the episode getting flattened?
I'll drive them all out! Kill them with my bare hands!
That's not just collateral, that's Isayama flexing his world-building muscles, making this universe feel painfully real. The bully is only the second most important character to be crushed by debris in this episode, however, as Carla finds herself trapped under the rubble of her home, and no matter how hard they try, Eren and Mikasa cannot get her free. To make things worse, a Titan is fast approaching, and it seems as though our main characters are doomed, until Hannes from earlier arrives to save the day. Hannes charging at the Titan is like a moment straight from the hero playbook, and just when you expect the save-the-day cliché, Isayama flips the script. Hannes, crippled by fear, chooses retreat over heroism. It's not just dark, it's the first clue that Attack on Titan won't follow the typical shonen formula, something we are reminded of repeatedly throughout the show. This isn't your average anime, it's darker, grittier, and unapologetically raw. Foreshadowed earlier in the episode through Eren's dreams, Carla's death stands as the single most important event in Eren's character arc, and without it, he may never have gone on to become the person he was later in the show. Her death not only gives viewers a reason to connect with and feel sorry for Eren, but also gives the character clear motivations that the viewer can agree with, motivations that push him time and time again later in the series. This death also has significance being in the first episode. Not only has Isayama walked the fine line and just narrowly avoided slipping into the narrative whiplash, instead achieving the perfect balance, but it also shows how quickly Eren's life was ruined by the Titans, which not only emphasizes their power and impact, but also his frustration with his lack of freedom later in the series. The episode rounds out with Hannes' speech to Eren about how it's his fault his mother has died. He blames his cowardice, and this just further subverts the typical shonen stereotypes, as Hannes was painted in the moment to be the hero of the situation. Episode 2 doesn't hit the brakes either. Titans are wreaking havoc, and in the background a priest is chanting. This isn't just pious rambling, it's colossal foreshadowing. For first-timers, it's nothing but a desperate attempt to try and smite the Titans and a sneaky bit of world building. For veterans, however, it's a sinister revelation of the truth behind the Titans' origins and King Fritz's original plan. This priest foreshadows the fact that the people within the walls were sinners, harnessing their greed against the rest of the world, and therefore King Fritz retreated them behind the walls to spare the rest of the world their wrath. On top of this, the people within the walls are to accept the punishment of the outside world for their sins, and that this Titan attack is that punishment. These are revelations that are not made until Season 3, and yet Isayama is masterfully integrating hints about these things as early as the second episode.
Impossible.
This insane speech is not over yet, however. He then plainly tells us that the Titans are converted souls that have come to deliver this punishment. On top of this, he says that the Eldians within the walls have drawn their own race, and that even for their own flesh, the Titans care not. This straight up tells us that the Titans are the same race as the people within the walls. Isayama dropping bomb after bomb like this through such an unimportant character is true storytelling mastery. We were told everything, and yet it went completely over our heads. Another prime example of Isayama disguising crucial information behind simple scenes. Later in the episode, we get a peek into the noble's shady conversations about the fall of Shinganshina, showcasing the rotten core of those in charge. It's not just gossip, it's Isayama setting the stage for our main cast's future rebellion in Season 3. It also shows the viewer that Eren is a special little snowflake with his visions of freedom. So far in the series, every character around Eren besides Armin has been shown to want a quiet life within the walls, over pushing for freedom against the Titans. This is super important for one specific reason, and that is Armin's narration. Back in Episode 1 and each intro for Season 1, Armin tells us that the walls have stood for over 100 years, meaning humanity has survived behind them for this time without being able to push forward. Eren's unique mentality almost promises the viewer that Eren will make a change and the future of the series will be eventful. This message is exaggerated to the max in the next key scene. During the escape on the boat, we see Eren's inner and outer monologue where he swears to destroy them all, every last one. At the time, we agree with this sentiment, as it seems as though he means the Titans who just destroyed his life. However, for second-time viewers, this speech is much more disturbing, as we know that Marley is the one that destroyed the walls, sent the Titans, and oppressed the Eldians, and are therefore his true enemies and the ones he is vowing to destroy. Something that he does with the rumbling much later in the series.
It's dark.
It's fair to say, however, that whether a first-time viewer or not, this speech sets the tone for Eren's vengeance-fueled journey throughout the rest of the story. Fast forward to Eren and co having escaped back into Wall Rose, and we see some very interesting things. Firstly, Eren's dreams return as we see visions of Eren's father riding a wagon and worrying about his family back in Shinganshina. We then see scattered visions of Grisha almost arguing with Eren, and a split-second scene of a syringe and then also the key. This is all done incredibly fast, but with the foresight of a second-time viewer, we know that this scene is the moment that Eren received both the attack and founding Titan powers from his father. On top of this, the key is once again thrown very briefly in the face of the viewer, just for Mikasa to completely demerit the visions as just a nightmare. This subversion by Isayama is once again masterful, as he doesn't give the viewer a chance to overthink what they have just seen, and instead allows it to sit in the back of their mind whilst the story swiftly moves on. Following this, we get an extremely sneaky little shot of the warrior candidates during a narration about the struggle caused by the fall of all Moria. As first-time viewers, they are simply random people just showing up in a scene, but for second-time viewers, this shows them that the warrior candidates were involved in the fall of Shinganshina, as they were a part of the refugees flooding into Wall Rose. This is once again an example of Isayama's genius foreshadowing. And there you have it, folks. The fall of Shinganshina marks the thrilling kickoff to the Attack on Titan saga. Isayama doesn't just hit beats, he breaks records. Picture a speedrunner hitting a new world record. That's how efficiently we dive into a compelling opening, meet key characters, witness impactful incidents, set motivations, uncover long-term hooks, and grasp a compelling premise. Hold on tight, because this isn't your run-of-the-mill anime. Attack on Titan is a rollercoaster of suspense, action, and world-building wizardry right from the beginning. Get ready for an exhilarating journey through the realm of Attack on Titan. Trust me, it's only gearing up for something even more extraordinary from here. And there you have it. We've dived deep into the heart-pounding world of Attack on Titan, and I hope you enjoyed the ride as much as I did. If you found yourself captivated by the twists and turns, make sure to show some Titan-sized love by hitting that like button.
Do it.
Subscribe to join our growing Titan community, and don't forget to unleash your thoughts in the comments below. What theories do you have? Any favourite moments so far? Anything I missed? Any other shows or movies you'd like me to dive into next? I want to hear it all. Your support means the world and ensures we keep uncovering the secrets of this phenomenal series together. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you later.